Hi, I'm Mr. Cinema, and today I'm going to show you how to draw a punching fist. Alright, so let's start off with some light sketchy lines. This is going to be the front of the fist where it's making contact, and then we have lightly drawing in the top of the hand or the back of the hand, and then that's the wrist. And you'll notice there's a very sharp angle coming down, and that's going to be the thumb curling underneath the fist. Now we have the wrist connecting to the right there into the forearm. So we're just focusing on a sideways punching fist right here. And then I'm going to decide how much from the wrist I'm going to start to draw the curl of the fingers. So there's a knuckle right there, and then right below that knuckle bone we're going to start to see the fingers curling, and there's also a thumb bone right there. So those two circles in between those are where we're going to see the soft parts of the skin folding over itself to really give the emphasis of that curling finger. So here we have the knuckle of the index finger. So we're only going to see the index finger and thumb in this particular pose. And then it's really defined by a lot of overlapping wrinkles. I would highly recommend you look at a photo when you're drawing this fist. Or try to curl your hand up, your left hand maybe if you're a right-handed person or vice versa, and use your own hand as a model. So I'm just really getting those overlapping wrinkles, and it's really important that they overlap at the right points to emphasize that 3D form. So we have the skin, the web of the thumb there has the most significant overlapping folds. Then I'm going to soften up the top of the hand, and then I'm going to start to draw in the thumb. So here is we're not going to see the tip of the thumb. It's curled, turning away from us, but we will see that last knuckle before we see the thumbnail. And then there's that significant thumb knuckle, and then the base of the wrist is right there. So those three big bumps comprise the thumb and lower part of the hand. And then some more significant wrinkles that are the webbing between the thumb and the index finger. They're all going to be crunched up there. And then a couple more wrinkles there, just solidifying the lines. Now keep in mind that when throwing a punch, it's that top upper left corner that should make contact. You don't want your fingers or thumb getting in the way of all the force. All right, now I'm going to ink it with my favorite Copic Gassenfide. I'm going to go ahead and just draw in some of those wrinkles there. And I'm going to treat the lesser wrinkles with a lighter touch, and then the heavier, more significant wrinkles with a little bit heavier line. So what's nice about a brush pen is that you can press down and it will give you a more significant emphasis, and then you can just drag the tip of the brush across for much smaller lines. So I'm trying to decide on which of the lines will be the most significant. First, establishing the proper overlap. And then establishing that roundness of the knuckle that will make first contact with the target. And then the bent finger, a little bit of lines there. And then the index finger goes underneath the skin and knuckle of the thumb. So there's a lot of overlap, and then something that's overlapping will fold underneath something else. So you have to kind of pay attention to those subtleties because that really adds to the realism of your drawing. And then some wrinkles for the base of the wrist, and just tracing out back of the hand there. And looks like we're pretty much done. All right, thanks for watching. Subscribe if you haven't.